good evening, one and all, and welcome to a Champions edition of Talk. Go on, Fred. Go on, Fred.
Can you all hear it?
It's on red. On red.
I'm going to put it on the big speaker in a minute.
Keep it there, right there, Fred. We can hear it right there.
What about now?
Nah.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, your dreams, these eyes. I know.
Sweet, it's sweet, it's sweet, it's sweet. Come on, lads.
Walk on,
lads. Walk on.
Walk on. We're both in your hearts. And you never hold on. Oh God, with all in your heart, and you
Bloody dirty. We'll have that, gents. We will definitely have some of that. 20 times, lad, 20 times. So I don't want to hear nothing more from no Manx. Yeah? Nothing more from you about these 20 times now, all right, lads? Yeah. Get back on it.
My neighbours must be thinking, what's going on here?
It's all for one, bro. What happened?
I can't see. I'm.
You know what? At least you're honest. Some of them out there, you know what I mean? At the top of their voice,
I tell you.
I like they're being strangled.
My voice is dreadful.
Good evening, gentlemen. Glorious time to have you on board.
What a time.
Absolutely fabulous time. I tell you, it's a fabulous time. You know what? It normally is a fabulous time to be a Liverpool fan, but it's especially fabulous now to get number 20 in the bag and the first one under Slot's era after a lot of people said we would crumble once Klopp left. So it is an absolute pleasure. Good evening, Stoney. Nice to have you back. It's had a few weeks away.
Thank you very much.
I hope you're feeling much better, son. I hope you're feeling doing much better.
Yeah,
Fred,
definitely. Thanks very much, man.
nice to have the old DJ Preds on board now. I mean, go on.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I've got one for you. Hold on.
Oh,
Doctor, you like this? You like this, Doctor? Oh,
best winger in the league. Best left winger in the league.
Yeah.
I'm saying it. Thank you, Fred.
and he plays for Liverpool. And he plays for Liverpool.
Please. You know when Prince took off his top, you just remind me of that Geordie brother that you can always see in the crowd.
And they just come like flipping
Hey.
Tyson Fury's trainer. Like
See-
his top always off. What's his name? Malik Scott.
You might be right, mate. Copyright strike incoming. You might be right there, son.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
That's funny.
you might be right. Good evening, CW. Good evening, Desby. Yes, my brother. Nice to have you on board. Another champion on board. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah. It is a lovely, splendid time. Roshi. Yeah, yes, Uncle Del, get it off. No, Uncle Del, put it back on. Nice to have you, Roshi.
That's Rochi's from Ireland, mate.
Okay.
Fellow scouts from Ireland.
I was drunk after the game on Sunday with the friends. I was singing that song. I think most of us were, mate. I think most of us were, to be fair. I saw lots of pictures and videos going around of a plenty few bottles getting popped. And they've been saving these bottles for quite a while. I saw some Laurent Perrier, some Verve, and all that kind of stuff was going on. It was going down. It definitely was going down, man. Trust me. Yeah. Hey, Desby, I'm gonna get to that. I know I'm not worried about that anyway. Because we'll deal with them lot. We will deal with them lot. But needed one more point, gents, and we went to play Tottenham, and boy, we weren't content with the one more point. We said, nah, we're getting out on a high. And you know what? A lot of people said, I think even Doctor said it, if I remember rightly, we didn't want to do it with Arsenal losing. We wanted to do it by us winning and at Anfield as well. And you know what? You're all right. It felt so much sweeter. I'm not going to lie. It did. It felt so much sweeter. Good evening, Bingy and VW as well. Nice to have you on board, gentlemen. Now, what did you not think when, we went 1-0 down? What was your thoughts then? Was you like, here we go again?
Because I feel like in most games where we conceded a goal, like we bounced back like relatively quickly. But I know what you mean. It almost feels like when we concede, people start to panic because the evidence tells us this season when we concede, like we bounce back. So everyone just like be calm. Like what we've had the one game where we've conceded a goal and we haven't scored again, and that was Forest. That's Forest at home, right? Or other goals when we've conceded first, like we've always kind of scored again. So for me, I just always knew that we were gonna do what we needed to do, and I think it was really nice that Dom had a really strong game because I know obviously he's been under like a lot of pressure, and it was good that Mr. Diaz scored the key equaliser, man. And yeah, great week, mate. Diaz adds to his tally. The league's been secured, and Stoney's back. What could a man want, man? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you.
Good.
Pause.
So,
Is that a pause? Bro.
These guys are too much as well.
No,
Doctor, don't worry about
it. Brent's been brushing
Too
up.
much.
Trust me. Stokey, how did you feel when we went 1-0 down?
It was interesting because when Solanke scored the goal, I think for me, if I was a betting man, I probably would have put a little bet on Solanke's score. him coming back to Anfield, things didn't work out for him, and him scoring a header. And in all fairness, his header was actually good. But I thought was actually quite interesting is you could have thought that there was absolutely no Spurs supporters in the stadium because when the goal went in, it's like everybody was in disbelief. From you didn't hear nothing. There was no celebration or nothing. But I agree with you. Look, within 4 minutes after Solanke's goal, Diaz had equalised, and we just got back involved in it. But I must admit, the goal went in. There was complete calm, and you could even see Virgil the same to everybody as well. Just calm down. Just calm down. And then we just clicked into the gear that we needed to, and we just moved on. There was a small little percentage in my head thinking, are these guys really going to come up to up to Anfield and attempt to be some form of party poopers and ain't done nothing all season. But yeah, RT, look, after Slanky's goal, as I said, Diaz equalised, and then everything was just plain sailing back for us.
Okay. Preds?
You know the funny thing? I expected it. It didn't surprise me. Yeah, it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me that they would score, but I would also know that by them scoring, that would then enable us to fix up. And that's what he done. It kicked us into gear. And like Doctor said, our stats in regards to going the goal down, we're best in the league in regards to our comebacks, and well, not comebacks, but from a conceding the first goal to then winning the game, we're quite strong. So I was quite calm. I expected it. It didn't surprise me. And you know what? It's almost like, okay, Solanke, old player, didn't want to celebrate, but it also looked like the Spurs players didn't want to over-celebrate because they kind of knew in the back of their minds, you know what? This is either it's going to go one way or another. It's either we're going to ride our luck and we're going to get a 1-0 win, or Liverpool are going to come back strong. And what they needed to do was just keep strong for 10 minutes. They needed to keep strong. And they couldn't do it. And they couldn't. From when Diaz goals got scored, it was like, yeah, everybody keep calm. It's all right. It's all right. It's going to be all right today. So, yeah.
He says it was Spurs, so I wasn't too bothered. He knew it would be all right, mate. He knew it would be all right. Doctor?
Really, yeah, just confident, man.
Diaz all is forgiven.
Yeah, I was just confident, man. I just think this team have given us reason to be confident in them since the start of the season. So, like, why change that now? And I always felt that our performances would pick up again as well. So, yeah, it was coming, man.
Okay. Big shouts, good evening, goes out to Voices of the Game. Nice to have you on board. Do remember, people, hit that like, that share, and that subscribe. Roshi says, lads, let them all talk. Arsenal giving it the large. City saying it's a shit season. Blah, blah, blah. Liverpool are champs. End of. We played what was in front of us and got the results where they all failed. Brilliant. Even Desby mentioned that about earlier, about people saying...
Hi there. Would you like to receive...
But I don't know what that was, boy.
Sorry, it's me.
What that
people
was.
saying, yeah, it's a weak league and all that. But like they said, we played what was in front of us. We did the job where they failed. Simple as.
You know what? You know when people say, like, oh yeah, it's a weak league and X, Y, and Z. This is what I've got. This is what I got to say to them.
Gonna be alright. This morning, I wish
That's what I say to them. It's all right. It's going to be all right.
Big shouts goes out to Solo from our sister channel, the Man United Agenda. Nice to have you on board, mate. And he says Arsenal bottle jobs. Yeah, we know that, man. We know that. I heard United got a 3-0 win tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting game. Like, the right things happen to them at the right times.
So, yeah, even Desby goes, some jealous people out there talking about weak league this season. And it's all sour grapes. Damn right. We sealed it in style against a perfect opponent. We did. That we definitely did. So, gents, what do you think then about our performance and the way actually the football that we played? Because a lot of people are saying it was a lot better football than some of the matches we played this season, even in other games that we'd actually won. How did you think about the football and that we played against Spurs?
I think the football we played was at times scintillating. It's almost like I said, the players knew what they needed to do, and they weren't going to go for a draw. And some of the play moves that we produced prior to them scoring, I knew that, I was confident that we was going to get the result. So for me, the performance was really, really good. And I expected it because normally during the run into the getting the title, you do get some shaky performances. It's not shaky. It's just that everyone's out to score, everyone's out to spoil our party, and we're a bit, and you naturally, as human beings, get nervous. You know, we've put ourselves in a really great position. So I expected our performances to dip. I also expected our performance to then go up go up, because the pressure, we knew what we needed to do. It was 1 point, and we need to get over the line. So for me, yeah, it was a good performance.
Okay, Stoney.
Yeah, very much so. I can only echo what Prezi just said as well. And I think even when you saw the line, I think for me, regardless of what lineup Spurs would have put out, we were always going to win the game, all right? But when we saw the matchup of having Ryan, Mac 10, and Dom up against Madison, Gray, and Tottenham's got the young midfielder.
Great,
I can't remember his name.
great.
What's his name?
Devil.
Not Bedville.
Devil. Yeah.
Yeah, Bedville. For me, then you already knew where the strength and where that game was going to be won anyway, right? And if we look at just some of the stats at the end of the game, Ryan ended up getting assist. I think Dom ended up getting 2 assists, and Macton scored as well, didn't he? So even if you think of it, yeah, look who you see all of the dominance coming from as well, and also going into the game. And it wasn't just this game, right? But throughout the season, we've actually got international captains that were actually playing for us in this game up against Tottenham, right? So we already knew that Salah, as a captain for his international country, was going to be fine. We knew Dom was going to be fine. We knew Robbo was going to be fine. We knew Virgil was going to be fine. All of those stuff, it was always going to be a win for us. I think it was just the manner in which we wanted to actually win this game against them. Tottenham's goalkeeper has been shaky for all of this season as well. He's just a very odd goalkeeper. So the fact that you've got Madison being the captain, because I know Son's out, and then the new goalkeeper Vicario being the vice captain, for me that says everything you need to know about Tottenham. Absolutely shaking goalkeeper, and he's meant to be like, you know, the reference point to them. But yeah, I just think we were good. Tottenham's forward line, apart from Solanke, I don't really think was going to offer us much. Tell's still playing his trade here, and Johnson's still playing his trade at Tottenham. I know you have the season at Nottingham Forest, but yeah, they were weak, Tottenham. But that still doesn't take anything away from our amazing performance and us obviously winning our 20th league at Anfield. So yeah, I was happy with our performance overall, RT.
I was actually going to say that, you know, because there was a lot of talk that Tottenham's team was weakened because they know that they had this Europa match coming up. So was it made easier for us? And also, Preds.
Yeah.
You seen this, yeah?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah. So there was a lot of talk of a weakened Tottenham because of the Europa game and all that. I don't know. What did you make of it?
They had their own agenda. Tottenham's got their own agenda. They've got their own program, and I'm sure the manager selected the side appropriately. Whether I think it's a disrespect to say that it's a weakened team when it's a squad game, not a team game. And look, like I said, he had a game. They had a game today, and they had to do what they needed to do, regardless of what team they put out. It was about what we done, what was most important. And we went out there. We knew what we needed to do, and we went out and done it. Spurs' issues is Spurs' issues, pure and simple.
But hold on. Right, let's look at it. Right, so apart from Son being injured, who else would have been playing? Who did they rest?
Oh, for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Well,
Son was injured, so count him out.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been.
All right, so for me in my own head, right? I didn't watch the Tottenham game today, by the way, right? So which players didn't? Richarlison only came on for Spurs in the second half, didn't he? I think did he come on? Yeah,
Starting
because
it.
Harvey Elliott, right? So Harvey Elliott did a little nutmeg thing. Was Ange had already said that Bentancur wasn't ready for that game, so Bentancur wouldn't have played, right? So what players would they have rested? Would it have been Basuma, Porro? It would have been probably 4 players.
We're both out as well, so there was no
So Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, and Basuma would have been the main. Sorry, I do apologize. Probably would have been the main players that they probably would have rested. I mean, those are the players that, if they were speaking about them putting out a so-called weaker team against Liverpool, those are the only players that I could think of, as you said, apart from Son.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Van der Ven, I should say, yeah, might have made a bit of a difference, but I still feel we would have won that anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100.
Good evening, Amit. How you doing, brother? Nice to have you on board, sir. It says evening champions. Yeah, damn.
And you know the other side of it as well, RT. We would have played. Sorry, we played on Sunday in Tottenham's game today, so that they would have had 4 days rest anyway. In my own head,
Yeah.
So I mean, if Tottenham were so cool, didn't play their first team, but as Pred says, that's got nothing to do with us. That is just you got your squad of players. You come up to Anfield to try and get a result, and you weren't in a position to. I don't mind. It don't bother me one bit, man.
Bingy reckons it was our best performance in a while.
Yeah, I can see that.
Watch this, Bingy. What did you think about Szoboszlai?
Yeah. What did you make of Szoboszlai's game, Doctor?
I think it was very good. He had obviously dipped a little bit in recent weeks. But yeah, I just thought that he was always going to come back a bit stronger when he felt a bit rested and could find some form. And I think sometimes we have to accept that it's a 38-game season and players are going to have dips and players are going to have peaks. But the one thing with Szoboszlai, even when he is off form, and look, I've been frustrated because I know that he can offer more, but he plays a vital role. I've been saying this for the longest time. He plays a vital role in balancing the team. And it was Mo that came out this season and said that I asked Slot, and he kind of agreed that I'd have less defensive work to do this season. So Szoboszlai doing all of what he does, that enables Mo to play in the way that he does. So even if Dom is slightly off his game, the role that he does is key in allowing Mo to do what Mo does. So I just think sometimes you just got to just relax. Like, it's a 38-game season. Guys are going to peak. Guys are going to have low points. But yeah, Dom's a good player, man.
Okay. What do you make of Dom, Tony?
Yeah, no, I was really happy with his performance, and similar to what Doctor was saying, it's a collective. Long season, beginning of the season, depending on who you are, we're always going to be involved in 4 different competitions as well. And I still think he's still understanding his role here as well. If you think of the role that he was playing under Klopp, it was completely different, and also different to the role that he actually plays when he plays for Hungary as well. He's a young player. You can still see that he's willing to learn and understand. And I think that's only going to benefit us. Personally, I think it's only going to benefit us as a club moving forward. So yeah, I was happy. I was more happy that he actually got the 2 assists for himself. But yeah, really good performance from Dominic. Happy for him.
Definitely. So CW says we deserve this title, one of the best coaching performances I've seen, especially in Slot debut season, taking over from a legend. 2, and credit to players for not downing tools after Klopp left. Very true, 100%. Very true. Yeah, because sometimes what, they've been with Klopp for how long? You get used to him, and then all of a sudden he drops that bombshell that he's leaving. A lot of players are just like, no. Slot had them in, and boy, still doing the business. Bingy says that he had a very good game, and hopefully he continues like this.
Yeah.
So, tell me, what do you make of Matt 10's goal? Jeez. Jeez.
I'll tell you what, all plaudits go to Mac 10, but you also have to kind of appreciate the endeavour of Gravenberch in regards to he went and chased the ball down on the byline in Madison, I think. The ball got played. Gray had a bit of a touch, an awkward touch, which Gravenberch kind of sniffed that he's got an opportunity. And that kind of typifies that's what typified the team and the squad's mindset in regards to just the work rate, the endeavour, just putting your body on the line and doing it for each other as well. And he could easily have just given it up and not done anything, but he's done it. He's let it roll into Mac 10, and Mac 10's taken a touch. And boy, oh boy, I knew he had the left foot. But boy, like if the net weren't there, that would still be going. You know,
I'm telling you, I'll still be traveling. That was a
serious player. You know, like Mac 10 is a serious player. Like top 5 midfielders in the Premier League, in my opinion. Like. Not just this season, I'm saying over about 3-4 seasons now. Top player, an amazing signing. We paid what, £35 million for him?
Something like that, yeah.
Come on, man. That's ridiculous in the current market.
Peanuts.
Ridiculous. And yeah, like all hell Julian Ward, apparently. It was Ward who really pushed for that signing. Transfer committee. So yeah, like special player, man. Special player. Like for me, I think he's our best midfielder. Like he's the one that just always has that bit of class about him. Like really good player, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that.
One moment though, where I was like, Cody, what are you doing? When Cody tries to slot it in for Mo, and I'm like, Mac does some kind of Maradona like pivot and turn on the edge of the box, slips him through. I was just like, Cody, just bury this. Like, this is goal of the month. He tries to pass to Mo. But yeah, what Mac does in those little tight spots, and I guess it's interesting for next season, right? Because yeah, maybe in certain games, like he is the number 10 against the low block because his ability in tight spaces is nuts. Like this guy just find a pass and just open a door so easily. So yeah, maybe that's one of the things that we'll see more next season. Who knows? But yeah, Mac 10 is a serious player, man. Like that's a serious baller.
SB goes on to say our captain needs to be credited. Also, very good team man and leader.
Yeah.
And imagine Desby. There were certain fans who were saying that he shouldn't have taken over from Henderson. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Certain fans were saying that it should have been outrageous. Outrageous. I couldn't believe some of the things I was hearing at the start of last season. I don't know about Van Dijk's leadership. I was like, bruv, have you not watched the last 6 years? Like, do you really think it was Henderson why we won trophies? Anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
So, can I just say very quickly, no copyright infringement is intended, and all rights to the content used belong to their respective owners. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
He has played well, and yes, I'm saying that honestly, says CW. See, this is what happens, people. I don't know how long you've been with us, but these players get a hammering from us. They watch us, and then they come out next week and feel bad, and they do the business. This is what we do, gents. It seems to happen time and time again. Diaz was getting some stick, Szoboszlai was getting some stick, and look at that. Hey? Top draw performances from both players. What can we say, man? What can we say? Cody looked to be back in a bit of a groove as well.
Yeah, great goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It was a very well taken goal, actually. Yeah. How you started that away. I mean, even though it's not a screamer, but still a well taken goal.
You know what? All these finishing stats. Sorry, Prez, because
sorry, go on.
I just want to say that I feel like more often than not, he either works the keeper or like he hits the corner of the net. Like his finishing stats must be high in terms of his kind of his conversion of like big or good chances, because yeah, he really is a consistent ball striker. That always just catches it well.
And you're right. I think there's been so many positives from this season, and it's also been nice to see the continued development of Cody as well. But I do agree with you. It's very rarely that you're going to see him in an offensive position where it seems like he doesn't know the answer to whatever the problem or the solution is. He's always got an idea of what to do. So whether it's beating a man, whether it's passing a man, you're right, whether it's shifting it from left to right. And he's actually quite strong on either foot as well. You know, he's actually very deceptive. But what I do like, what you were saying, Doctor, about this game as well, he was able to slow down the game in really important positions in the game as well. And I think that's another bit of his development I really do like. But yeah, very happy for him. You're right. There's just been so many positives from this season that we'll continue to relish and enjoy. But it's just ended up very, very, very good, man.
You know what? If with Gakpo's, I don't know whether you heard Gakpo's interview after the game, and it's quite telling in his interview. And one of the things that he mentioned was in respect of his position and in respect of his form and his like what you just described. And he put it down to the fact that when he came, Klopp played him left, played him up front, played him right, played him in midfield. And although he done it for the benefit of the team, he didn't get an opportunity to learn that position. Whereas when he went onto the left, that was his natural position. And he's played that natural position consistently all the way through. So I think that's quite telling in regards to why he's been so good this season. Is because he's back playing in his usual position, and he's getting match time and building consistency of his performances. So
yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Once he's been back in his natural position, looks a totally different player. And once he had a run in that position as well, he was consistent especially before the injury. But
yes, definitely.
All right, so question is going to be, gents. All right. So if we do, say we get rid of Diaz and we get in a quality number 9, like what do you call it, like an Isak or whatever. So what happens between Diaz and Gakpo then? Who starts on the left?
It's about squad depth. For me, it's about us retaining. It's about us retaining this league. And I think if we think historically over clubs who won the league and who wish to retain it, it means that there needs to be squad depth. So I say we keep both of them and we go for it again.
Yeah, but can you see both of them being happy?
I think Slot and the squad, and the way that our club's moving forward, I think they'll get enough game time to allow them to be happy. So yeah, I do.
Same, yeah, agreed with Stoney. I just think there's just enough games, and I think it's different if you've got a clear number 1 and then the other person is just on the bench. But they both got like a lot of minutes, and then obviously when Cody's been in really, really good form and the number 9s have struggled, then there's obviously then the option to move Diaz centrally as well. So although a lot of fans don't like him playing centrally, and I can understand why, I think sometimes it's almost you've got to see him centrally a bit like how Klopp used to use Bobby in it, and that Klopp so Slot's moving him centrally to facilitate as opposed to score goals. So there was, as I said, there was numerous performances of him playing centrally that were incredibly strong. And yeah, I think lots of fans thought Diaz might go, and look, there's still a high chance that he will go. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's got great value in the market. But I just think if we assume Núñez is definitely going to go, based on current form, would I rather keep Jota or would I rather keep Diaz? It's not even a conversation for me.
100%.
Like Jota would have to go. Like the fact that Diaz is playing over both of them and their natural number nines, for me, this doesn't make any sense. Him going unless you get a crazy fee of like, I don't know, £100 million from him, then yeah, fair enough. But yeah, like I think you keep him. I just think his work rate is incredible. I don't think his work rate is given enough credit. Like he tracks back, he's a fighter, he's a street fighter. And then yeah, he's got quality. Yes, he's inconsistent with his end product at times, but I just think he's a brilliant player for the squad. So for me, like I keep Diaz all day.
I would definitely like to see him stay. 100%. I'd like to see him stay. But like I said, I think it's just that how is it going to work if we do go out and purchase a big boy number 9, and then we've got that guy who's down the middle performing, and it's just them two fighting for that place on the left-hand side. And yes, they're in plenty of games, but you have to remember that there's some of these games are the ones that you want to play, which are going to be the big ones. You're going to want to be in the Prem, you're going to want to be in the Champions League. You're not going to be too fussed about playing the Carabao Cup.
I hear you.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Because even one of the other things that we've spoken about in previous shows as well, RT, is we would like to see where if a particular player is not playing in one position, that there's not a massive drop off between the player that comes in for them. So I'm only giving one example, all right? I think if Dom didn't play in the number 10 and Harvey Elliott came in, I would think that there's a big drop off between the output from both players there in that position. The same thing, obviously, Trent and Connor play completely different in the right back position. I think there will be a drop off there. For me, I would ideally like a squad where if a player is not playing, whoever comes in, they're still quite on equal terms. And I think that will only help us moving forward. So that's more towards my rationale about why I would like to keep both players there as well.
Yeah, I think they're both happy. For me, like I don't see that as a problem because I just think, look, who knows what's going to happen with Chiesa? And there's stories this week that apparently the coaching team were concerned about his performance against Plymouth. Who knows if that's true or not? But I almost just feel like we don't quite need 2 players for every position, in my opinion. I think you could possibly have 5 forwards rotating the 3 positions. So if that's Cody and Diaz on the left, if Diaz been able to play across the front line, number 9, obviously Mo, that's your 3. And then if he were to sell Nunez, Jota, and Chiesa, and then sign 2 new forwards, I think that balances look like quite nice. It's like whoever those forwards that would actually be. But yeah, I think we're in a really good position, man. And obviously you got to think in it. We are a elite team. So like we're meant to have squad depth, man.
And that's what Amit says. He says elite clubs offer stellar competition for places. It's imperative that both Diaz and Cody stay. Mark says, good evening, Mark. He says it's good to fight, helps the player get better. And Des B was saying that Diaz, Cody, both will play a lot of games and there will be injuries. They will even be better next season.
I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of disagree slightly with what Doctor said in regards to spreading the players along the 3 positions, and I think we've kind of realised now Diaz is good on where he is on the left. Gakpo also very good when he plays thingy. The issue is we've got Mo Salah on the right hand side, and I think that's something we need to work on in regards to getting someone who can. Well, we've got Chiesa there as well, so I think we probably need a couple of forwards, like a real couple of forwards who are going to get us about 15, 20 goals. Like a forward who is going to be our kind of not a linchpin, but we've got a goal scorer. We need other goal scorers, and
agree.
Gakpo's been sporadic in regards to his goals. Salah has put the numbers up, but then you take them two away from it. I think now you have a person who's Mac 10. So really and truly, in regards to the goals, you know, I would prefer, in my opinion, I would prefer that number 9 who we think, yeah, he's going to score 20, 25 goals a season. I think from that, that then puts us on the next level.
Oh yes, sorry, friends. If I didn't kind of clarify what I was saying. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I agree. We need a starting number 9.
Yeah.
As I was just saying, I'll just have 5 players for the 4 positions, and then they rotate across the 6. But yeah, I would definitely sign a number 9.
Yeah,
and the backup player. Personally, I like Mbeumo from Brentford.
from Brentford.
Yeah, and I think he's somebody who, in my opinion, would upgrade on what Jota could give us through the middle, and then he could also then take minutes from Mo when we need to cover from Mo. And I think if he's your backup, and then you then got another number 9, so like whoever you want to sign is your main number 9. Alvarez, obviously, we're not going to get Isak. Alvarez, Osimhen, TK, whoever it is. I think if you've got, say, Cody, Diaz, TK, and Bremo and Mo, I think that's solid. I think you've got a bit of pace, creativity. You've got all 5 players with strong injury records. You've got a bit of kind of interchanging and techers, and I think they can do different things. I think, but obviously, look, we might not do that, but it's just exciting times, right?
But does the man them sorry, but quickly, does the man them prefer a striker who has got potential and is up and coming, or a striker who's
ready
not
now,
been there, done it, but a striker who, you know, is experienced and he's got the stats behind him?
I think what's tricky, Preds, is with Mo now staying, and Diaz or Cody likely to stay. I think they might look at that number 9 position a little bit more differently, in that Mo, in theory, might still be our primary goal scorer again next season. So you want somebody who can also score goals, but also kind of facilitate Mo. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I definitely think like that they'll get somebody who can score goals and who's more suited. But I guess they might not look to sign a number 9 to be the top goal scorer. Like, who knows?
Yeah, that for me as well. You're right. It might not, because it's going to then take away from Mo's game, basically, and that's Mo's strengths, to be honest.
Tricky.
Yeah, so it's a techie one. Here's a techie one. Because remember, if you're looking at your central striker, because that's how I would like him to be, 20, 25 goals, then that means that really and truly Mo and Gakpo or Diaz, whoever's wide, should also be supplying a lot. Whereas Mo's looking to score a lot. So that's going to be a techie one. But I would like a proven goal scorer. I want to just go to that level now. That's it. Because I want the Champions League and that again. That's what I want to be. So I want that guy who's in there, like we said, 20, 25 goals, guarantees you 25 goals a season. Simple. I want that player in the team. No long talking. I want that player in the team.
See, obviously there's Osimhen, and I rate him highly, but I know not everyone's overly keen on Osimhen personally. I think
talk about attitude problems and all that, so I'm not too sure.
I was just about to say that you see how Osimhen gets, and rightly so, because he's a very good player, right? I don't know the man personally, but he seemed like he would fight a man if he was to blow in his ear, you know.
Yeah.
So how he'd manage in the Premiership will be very interesting.
I'm fighting a man if he's playing in my ear, bro. I'm telling you that now.
But stats, like, it seems like he can score in any. It seems like he can basically score any type goals. At the moment, anyway. How much do you? And this is me. I don't have an idea on this. How much do you reckon he would cost?
Right now, let's talk about getting him for like 40 million.
And is he on heavy wages? Does anyone know?
So he's going to be on big wages. But apparently there's some kind of release clause, but Napoli owe him some money as well, or something. There's some issue with Napoli, like there always is. The thing with Osimhen, which I would just say. Now, I haven't been following it weekly, but I'm not necessarily sure that this whole him having a bad attitude is as bad as what people say it is. And I just think there's something particularly rotten at Napoli. And enough people fall out there. So the manager wins the first title since the 80s. He's gone the next season. You've got kind of Kavichko was so desperate to leave that they were top of the league and he left in January. Osimhen would have rather gone to Turkey and than stay there. So there's obviously something happening there. Last season, there was this incident where the club's TikTok channel were calling him a coconut and all that, and issues like that. So this whole thing about him having a bad attitude. Now, I'm not saying that maybe there aren't certain stories that say that he does, but I just feel I'd want to test that out first, in it, because I think maybe there's a sense that he's been unfairly labelled. Because would we say Darwin's got a bad attitude? Where since Darwin's been there, he was posting comments this week about him not being playing because of some issue, then deleting it. Klopp leaves last season. He doesn't chair Klopp. We've had him fighting fans in the stands for Uruguay, but I don't see people saying Darwin's got a bad attitude.
Sure, so, I agree. You're right.
I'm not saying that Osimhen isn't asking to be paid, but he's obviously on quite low wages. But I just hear this a lot. He's got a really bad attitude, and maybe there is.
But you're right. You never know.
But I just think, say he's asking for 280, 300k. Some might say that's too much money, but if Rashford's on 350, Sancho's on 350, Kane's on 400, Lewandowski's on about 450, 500. Like he's one of the best strikers in the world. So
yeah, I agree. And you're right. And you're right. And you're right. If it was going to be the case of players leaving, as an example, we're only giving an example. Does anybody know how much Darwin or Jota's on? I reckon it must probably be about 100, 150 each.
About 150, 180. 150. I think Darwin could be close to about 180, I reckon.
Oh, so they're both on a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think it's about 150. I did have a look at this before. I think I'm about 150.
Okay.
So Desby says a position we need to address is number 6 for Ryan to be rested sometimes. I've heard snippets from Spain that Stefan is doing well. And on that note, been talk as well about Slot will be giving Stefan a chance to prove himself come next season.
I hope he does.
How do you feel about that?
I hope he does. I think you know what, he's gone through the kind of little bit of a journey that good potential players do go through, with regards to going out and playing, applying their trade and learning by going on loan. I think he had a bit of an unfortunate one at Salzburg. He had a bit of I think it was just, it wasn't nothing to do with his performances. It was just overall the team weren't good enough. And ultimately the manager got the sack, our old assistant manager. But I think it will be a good thing. It'll be very interesting to see Stefan come back and see, how has he progressed. He's played in 2 different leagues. He's played in the European competition as well. He's been in the Champions League. So it'll be very interesting from my point of view to see how if he's developed and whether he can fit into the Liverpool style of play that we're currently under with Slot.
I for one hope he is given a chance, because I remember seeing some performances from this boy and I thought to myself, this young boy has got a lot of potential and I'd like him to come through. Number one. Number 2 is it will save us a lot of money. You can use that money to go to put towards somewhere else in the squad.
And as everyone said last week, they don't want Kyle Walker-Peters, right? So if we're
might be going Fulham. You might be going Fulham.
So if we are bringing in Steph in, then that means that we don't need to then sign another holding mid. Look, for me, I think it makes sense to see what he's got. We really mismanaged him, and I understand Klopp was a bit desperate, and I won't judge him harshly for that, but it was moments like that where I was thinking, I think we need a bit of a change at the top in terms of if Klopp was to step down, or we bring back Edwards as a bit more stronger leadership in terms of sporting directors, because for us to have a youth player who's played no first team minutes, then play him in about 12 games in a row is crazy. And they were high intensity games. Like the rest of the midfield couldn't run. Playing against Real Madrid, playing in the Premier League. And then we basically break him. And then he basically misses like 18 months of football nearly. So you've got to look at like the management of some of these young players, man. And I just think it was unfortunate that he was out for so long, because if you're out for 12 months, it's really, really hard for you to then walk back into first team football like a game. So I feel last season was hopefully needed. We've seen what Slot's been able to do with people like Grav, Curtis. So yeah, like if we don't need to go into the market, then hopefully kind of Steph can do that, man.
I would love that. So in the comments now, these guys are talking about Mateta wouldn't be a bad shout as an option. In my opinion, says Amit.
I said this last season, he's better than Darwin Núñez.
Ekitike, again, from Frankfurt, guys are talking about. Not a bad shout. And Amit also says that he would take Osimhen, pause, twice.
Sorry, was there? Sorry. Hold on for a second. Is it an emoji for pause?
Probably now, yeah.
Is there an emoji?
Yeah. Did you just say pause? Pause.
No,
Find the emoji.
Put pause on there twice in his speech. You put pause in there twice.
Oh, okay.
Did you not see it?
No.
Yeah, there's one somewhere.
I'd have to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
God,
might
don't worry.
make
Move on.
To be fair, they might make a special pause emoji, like some kind of new one.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, mine went elsewhere. Carry on. Please, carry on.
Okay. Another player that they're talking about is Livramento from Newcastle.
Okay.
They won't be looking to let him go. No chance. No chance.
Very good
No
defensive
chance.
player.
Osimhen wages about 280 to 300 per week.
Okay.
A lot. There's a lot.
That's a lot. But I think Doctor's put his finger on it in regards to Napoli. Because it's, there's something happening in Napoli, man. I don't know what. But hey.
But
I think he's on.
point.
Yeah, so I think he's on something quite low right now. I think he's on around 60 to 80
What?
a week now. Osimhen, yeah, his wages are low.
Yeah.
Napoli are on some mad, like Napoli do madness, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, his wages are low, and this was part of the issue. So they was almost saying to him, "Cool, we'll give you a improved contract," but then they wanted some ridiculous kind of a release clause, something like 250 mil or something. He was just like, "No, I'm not doing that. Like I won you the league. Give me a decent release clause and just improve my wages." And then things, it's messy at Napoli. It's messy. But his wages are probably quite low.
If we spend in 120 million on one player, we ain't adding a defensive midfielder, centre back, right back, and left back.
Can I just query something? You guys check me on this, right? Mark, was that Mark Foster that mentioned at RT?
Well, about what?
About if we're spending 120 million pounds. This is just a query, right? So this season we bought Kaiser for 10 mil and the goalie from Valencia for 30 mil, right? Can anybody remember how many players we bought last season? We didn't buy more than 5 players, did we?
No chance.
So I'm thinking in my own head, right? Over 2 seasons, even if worst case scenario that we bought 4 players last season, and I don't remember this, but to my knowledge, I don't think we did, right? Over 2 seasons, then we bought 6 players. We must have a lot of money in the kitty, RT.
Yeah, I reckon.
We must have an alarming amount of money there in reserve.
Well, they
We've got
reckon
big money
that
to
the
spend.
talk is that they're gonna back slot with a good transfer chest for this
Yeah,
summer.
100.
That is
100,
the
I can see
truth. And also, if he's gonna make sales, that could be added to the chest as well.
Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. Man.
You know what? I can't help but applaud FSG in regards to how they run the club. I'm a supporter of them, and you know, for us to get a new training ground, build on Anfield, and we're in no sort of debt whatsoever to the point where we're in a healthy position where if we can, I feel like if we wanted to spend 150 million on a player, we could do that. You could never think like that with Liverpool back in the day.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that I want Liverpool to spend 150 million. It's just that the fact of we're in a position where if we wanted to, we can do it. And I think we're in a really strong financial position.
And even if you think of it, we would have been close to have done it to have purchased either Lavia or Caicedo. So if you think of it, you are correct, Preds. We've already presented ourselves to say that the finance was all right. Fine, it didn't go through, but the finance was there to say we are at the table to do that. So you're right. That's nice, man.
It's true.
Oh, listen.
There's some more money that could get added to the coffers as well. News read today that Newcastle are looking at Harvey.
Good signing for them, to be fair.
I'm telling you, I'm just thinking that, boy, do we want to be doing that and strengthening them like that? Because that would be a very good signing for them, I reckon.
I think the issue is, like, if you're not going to play players, then you've got to be prepared to then sell them to your rivals if that's who gives you the most money, man. I just think sometimes you got to just, like, be brave, innit? If we're backing Slot to not play him, then let the lad have a career, man. And if Newcastle offer us a strong fee for him, then I think this is what you got to do sometimes, man. Like,
I think you're not asking a strong fee for Harvey, considering that he's also British.
50 mil is a good. 50 mil, right? Yeah. Listen, I think 50 mil is a great price for Harvey personally.
I'd want minimum 60 mil.
Couldn't see. I could see. I reckon this is me being crazy. I think his contract expires 2000 and I think he's probably got about 2 years left in his contract. He'd probably have the extra money right for the premium for being an English player. Do you know what? You guys are going to laugh at me. I don't reckon we'll get more than £35 million for Harvey Elliott. I don't.
No, you might be right.
I'm
not laughing.
35 mil, I reckon we'll get for him.
You know what is quite interesting.
I was going to say, no. I think we could get about, I'm not far off you, Sterling. I think maybe about 40, but I think 40 for him is fine.
I wouldn't want him to go personally, but I think you kind of seen the frustration that he's got when he came on Saturday. He got in that little altercation with what's his name? Richarlison.
Altercation with Richarlison, bro. Even his mum.
I know, but like, you know what? Elliot didn't let it go. Like, a couple of players had to come over to him to say, "Calm down."
Yeah.
And I think that's a very clear sign that Harvey Elliott, as much as he loves the club and he wants to play for the club, it's a clear sign from a professional footballer that he hasn't played and he wants to play more football, he doesn't want to have a bit part in coming on the last however it was 10-15 minutes he came on for, if that. Yeah, so you know what? Fair play to him. He's young, he's hungry, he wants to be in the first team, and I think that for me that gave me a little indication of the frustration that he's under. So even if it's Richarlison.
Sorry, I was going to say. So last season, he played 1,300 minutes, yeah? Premier League, this is. This season, he's played 189 minutes. He basically played 2 games throughout the whole season.
That's a big drop.
That's crazy.
That's a big drop.
That's mad. Like, that's
a big drop. So...
So that you see with that, sorry, just really briefly. So would Harvey Elliott come under the? I'm probably going to get this expression incorrect. Does he come underneath the homegrown talent where you have to have a certain amount of
Yes.
English
Yeah,
or British
well,
players in the quota?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so I'm thinking in theory, if Harvey Elliott was to move on, would we then need to possibly look at purchase another English player to meet that quota?
We might have to, especially if he goes and Trent goes as well.
So if Trent
Oh, I
and
see.
Singh go, we've got
and then hold on, we're talking about Gomez going in.
Mm.
That's free homegrown.
Yeah.
Right.
We need,
See what you
we
mean.
Yeah.
need to get some more British talent in.
Right.
It is a bit
Right.
tricky though about what's considered homegrown. I'm not quite sure what the actual.
if they are
After
thingy.
a lot of time as well of being trained and played here, they then qualify.
Yeah, that's right.
Grown as well.
So like Fringo.
So it's 3 years. So yeah. So it's 3 years in regard. If I'm correct, and someone please correct me in the comments. I do believe it's like if they've been trained by the club for 3 years when they're 17, 18 or whatever,
Okay.
regardless of their nationality, they will then be classed as a homegrown player because as far as the rules are concerned, they've come through the Liverpool academy.
Right.
So
I
yes,
see.
so I know Frimpong classes as being homegrown because obviously it's Man
He
City.
was at Man City. Mm.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Housen would potentially be classed as homegrown in a couple of years because how old is he? He's like 19, right? He's been since 18. So, but yeah, they'd have to look at that. They would just have to look at that because for us to lose 3 homegrown players,
Yeah, definitely.
So then what we probably have to do then is probably we might have to look at, and and this is not, contradicting what we were saying because we've got finance. We probably have to try and get a couple English players on a free then, innit?
Yeah, but if you remember,
in line with the Kyle Walker the situation. I knew he was going to say that.
homegrown.
But if you remember, we got Bradley, we've got McDonnell, you've got who else have we got? Tyler Morton, Ben Dijk.
Yeah.
Right.
Ben Dijk. Have we said Kwanzaa?
No.
Kwanzaa. So you remember, we only have to. I know it's thinking, but you have to have 4 homegrown players in the Champions League and I think it is in the Premiership as well. So out of a 25 man squad, you have to have 4 homegrown, and you have to have 8 players that have been trained in that country for a certain amount of time as well.
Yeah.
So it gets all clicky, it's all technical.
Yeah. Evening, Fitzwarren Brighton. Nice to have you, sir. Des B says that we have a decent pot of funds with no PSR danger, apparently. We could spend 100 million on one player, but we won't. And Amit also says that Harvey won't leave unless Slot tells him outright he doesn't want him. If it's left to Harvey to decide, he stays 100%. Okay, gentlemen. We are going to swiftly move on quickly. And another player we've spoken about. And there is talks of Liverpool having a look at Ola Aina as backup for if Trent decides to leave. If it's 100% nailed on. So we could have him and Bradley. I was watching some of him today. Forest Brentford game.
He's solid, man.
He's
solid.
Tight.
Yeah, like defensively strong.
And he gets forward well as well. I ain't gonna lie.
And we could probably get him on a free as well, isn't it? Because his contract expires as well, doesn't it?
I think as well, you know.
Yeah. He's on a free. I think he's solid. I think he's good defensively. Obviously, he's very, very different to Trent. But yeah, I think as a free signing, I think that makes sense. And I think also as well, if we were to sign someone like a Housen from Bournemouth, who say physically isn't as strong as Kanate, then having another defender in the back four who's obviously got quite strong physical attributes, like, would be quite helpful as well. Listen, I think it's like, I wouldn't be against a signing at all.
He's pretty quick as well.
Yeah, he's like he's very good 1v1 defensively, man. And he can also play left back as well. I just think, like that could make sense, man.
I like the sounds of that. Okay, another one, but they reckon that this one could be a bit more complicated.
So apparently Villa have got PSR issues, right? Because I think they are 95% of their turnovers going on wages or something like that, and it has to be 70% by either next season or the season after. So I could see us looking at Rodgers and maybe making a move from. I think he'd be brilliant for us. Could cover what Dom does, could play left, could play as number 10, could even play as a false 9 if needed. I think he's a really good player.
No, he is, yeah.
And he's homegrown.
Yep, that's what I was going to say, yep.
Now, you know what? I can't see us getting him in any shape or form. Yeah, I know. You know why? Because Man City have got a clause saying that, Man City have a clause in the contract that says that they have first refusal.
Do you think he's going to go back
if Rodgers?
But I think he'd want to play for them.
Well, I mean, that's where he done his scholarship. Academy. He learned his football, learned his trade at Man City. And, Pep's a very good admirer of him. And I've been seeing reports in regards to, I think Man City would work very hard to stop us from purchasing him.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's interesting. De Bruyne is moving on. So he could end up going in and slotting in and playing in that position.
Mm-hmm. So
I just think if I was Rodgers, right? Sorry to and maybe I'm being biased, right? Seeing the way he likes to play the game, off the cuff, driving forward, taking players on. You got with a Roy the Rovers kind of style of play, and it's not to say that Slot doesn't like play to be controlled, but I think Slot would allow that in many ways. I can't see Pep wanting that at all. Like, run forward, don't run too far forward. Pass it to the left back. Get into, like, Pep's midfield need to be so controlled. I just think if you're Rodgers' agent, don't think you say, like, based on his style, go and play for Pep. Like, no,
it'd be very interesting.
Like,
very interesting.
Want to be like chess pieces.
A good point here. Newcastle want Kwanzaa and Harvey, plus a cash deal. That's a cheap way to get Isak.
I want to keep Kwanzaa. I want to see his development with us. I don't want to see his development anywhere else.
I hear that.
I told myself that Isak isn't happening. I'm going to sign him on FC25. I'm going to do like a new career mode shortly. I'm going to sign him on that and just be content with that. But I think in real life, it's just not happening, and that's okay.
It's all. I think with Isak, it's all down to Newcastle and whether they qualify for Champions League.
Yeah, that'll be a big one. Right. Mark says he's going to find you every time you say that name, Doctor. Yeah, anytime you say, I'm not saying it, but we're talking about it. Yeah?
Doctor, who's he talking about, Doctor?
You're good. Only 50 quid. I'd have made it a one-up.
The worst thing is, he'll go Fulham and look very good next season. Everyone will be like, boy, Walker Peters is good, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, like we done with Ward Prowse this season.
Oh, that's another one. Anyway, for the record, I don't think Trent is leaving.
You know what? Like, I've got this little thing in there, I don't know whether it's just my emotions playing tricks on me, but I've just got this funny feeling. The way he's conducted, when he scored against, who was it he scored against the other day? Leicester.
Leicester.
The way he scored against Leicester and the way, obviously, I'm just, you know what? Maybe it's just hope rather than me knowing him. It's hope.
Yeah. Well, I hope he does, to be fair. So quickly, gentlemen, before we wrap this one up, Chelsea up and coming. We've got Arsenal up and coming. And then we've got, who is it? Brighton and Palace. It's our last 4 games. So, Chelsea, predictions. Let's wrap this up.
3-1.
Liverpool
3-1
wins.
to who? 3-1 to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be. I reckon we're going to win the 3-2.
Okay, 3-2. Stoney.
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen reports that we've been linked to the forward, the Chelsea forward? What's his name?
Jackson.
No, not Jackson. The other one, the French boy. The French boy, Christophe Nkangu, was that?
Oh yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
That's
Apparently.
old. That's old. That's old. So apparently we wanted him to replace Bobby.
Okay.
He was really high on our transfer committee's radar. Obviously, then he had the injury and he's fallen apart since. But no, like we did actually want him at one point in time. Absolutely.
Okay. We'll leave it there then.
Yeah, please do. Okay. Yeah. So right, it's all about Chelsea this Sunday, man. I'm looking forward to that now as well. But
I'm just
before we go, gentlemen, now we've got things wrapped up. Do we change the squad and give other guys a run out?
No.
Wow.
No, I don't. I'm like you, Doctor. No.
No.
Let's get the season done. Momentum. We got points. Yeah, I'm sure there's a points target that we want to achieve. If they weren't good, if any of those players weren't good enough to play in any of the games prior to this, why are they going to be good enough to play in any of the last 4 games? Just remain exactly as it is. If he thinks it is this slightly, but no whole scale changes for me. I'm not sentimental like that.
I don't want us winning the title and then losing next 4 games. That's just like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not something that we want to be associated with. I agree with what Stoney said. If those players were good enough to play, so everyone played a part. Those fringe players, they played a part in some manner at some point during the season. So, no.
Okay. You heard it here.
Just quickly, I do agree with Mark. I would give Chiesa some minutes so he can get a medal. But I wouldn't start him. Yeah. No. And no more Nunes. Did man see what he did when he ran through to go and pass it to Mo? I was like, this Brett. I was like, rude boy. You were texting saying that you ain't starting games because of, bro. You're not starting games because you're dead food, bro. That's why you're not starting games.
Did you see Matt 10's response?
Of course, you can see it. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, arms up and he's out.
Where with that, man? Nah.
And then you see Nunes looking over and giving a shrug to say what? Like, he was there. 1, it was a shit. You should have took the chance. 2, you didn't take the chance. And 3, you gave a rubbish ball to Salah.
This, bro. Seriously.
He's got to go, man. He's got to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can't defend him no more. He's got to go.
Yeah.
On that note, gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a blast. Remember, we'll be back next week, Thursday, and we'll be discussing the Liverpool-Chelsea game. All right?
One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities. I look to you.
Jon Snow.
Captain Marvel. What do you mean?
One kiss is all it takes.